I've learned that in the last 2 weeks, no matter how much you plan, life will life and life will life hard. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do our mid-year reset. This was supposed to be a 7-day series, but life and from being sick, hospital stays, family issues, trying to move, and just needing rest, we're going to put this all in one video, okay? So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So today I have my basket of utensils. I have my long-term notebook. If you've been here for a while, you are very familiar with this notebook. And of course, I have my Clever Fox planner with me today. So we have a few steps. I'll walk you through each step that I use to reset my year, mid-year, so stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do to start out our mid-year reset is do a brain dump. I like to get everything that's on my mind on paper so that it's out of my mind and I can think clearly about what I want to do for the next 6 months, really determine what's going to be important for me. So I'm opening up to a fresh new spread in my long-term notebook, and that's where we're going to get started. Once I've completed my brain dump, I'm going to categorize everything that I have listed. And then I'm going to create a master list that has all the tasks I'm going to look back to when I have the time to complete additional tasks. This year's brain dump includes a lot of things. If you've been around for a while, you know that I've been trying to get my passport renewed for the longest, so of course that is on this list. I've also been trying to plan ahead for 2027. As you all know, I lead a lot of communities. I want to get the planning started early so we can create a budget, see what the ladies are interested in, what books we want to read for next year, and things like that. I also have a lot of dream ideas, like 6 months in Puerto Rico, 6 months in New York City. Those are things that are on here as well that I don't want to forget about, but I know that they're not going to happen within the next 6 months, but I want to keep them on my radar and they would end up on my someday maybe list. This is a really good practice to do just to clear your mind, especially if you find yourself stressed or forgetting things. Just write everything down. Have a place that you can reference all the things that you have written down when you have a moment of free time or you want to be creative or think about other things that you're interested in. We are multifaceted people, so it's okay to have a bunch of different things that we are interested in. All right, so this completes my brain dump. I gave myself about 10 minutes to write everything I can think of or to fill up one page. So about 10 minutes, filled up one page. So now what I'm going to do is categorize everything that's here into their proper buckets. So here I am writing out my master list and I am categorizing it based upon the life areas that are important to me. This is different for everyone. I have faith and spiritual, relationships and community, career and profession, personal growth, intellect. I have wealth, personal finance, my physical environment, health and wellness, as well as fun, travel, and adventure. All of the items in my brain dump list will be categorized into each one of these categories. As you will see, some categories are spilling over while others just have enough in them. But everything will go here, and from there, I will categorize it out again. Example, fun, travel, and adventure is very important to me, so this category is just spilling over. Some of the things I have in there is to enjoy the summer, libraries, poetry. My 6 months in Puerto Rico or 6 months in New York are categorized here as well. August trip, I'm trying to brainstorm staycations, exploring the cities near me. My birthday bucket list, my birthday's coming up in a few months, to touch grass and to go to the parks, have a picnic, go to the lake, go to the beachfront. All of those things are listed here. My poetry is fun for me, so I want to be a part of that as well. Museums, I also want to pack a summer bag just so I have it with me because summer days can be very long. You never know where you're going to be, never know where you're going to end up, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not enjoying myself because I'm not prepared. So those are all the things in my fun, travel, and adventure category of my master list for my brain dump. I encourage you to categorize your brain dump because it's easier to look at your ideas and tasks when they're categorized instead of a big blob on paper. So make sure you look at your life areas and categorize accordingly. This next step is so important so you don't get overwhelmed, is to pick out the things that you want to focus on currently in this current year, the next 6 months, the next quarter, so that you're not overwhelmed. I think it's beautiful to have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that you want to do, but nothing will get done if you try to do everything at the same time. Prioritize. All right, so my brain dump is complete. I have all of my brain dump items here. I've categorized them into my master list and broken them down between current tasks and my someday maybe tasks. And that concludes the brain dump. Now we will get into our life audit and doing a little bit of journaling. Now we're going to get into some journaling, doing a little bit of a life audit to kind of see how we feel about last month, this year so far. I'm going to use my Clever Fox planner to do that. And I know this says monthly review, but I'm going to use this as my mid-year review. I'm going to write down everything I can think of to answer these questions for the mid-year. So the last 6 months. It is so important to take some time to reflect about the things that you've experienced, about your year, about your month, about your week. A lot of times we don't take time to really think about how we feel about the things we've experienced. And when it comes time to improve on those things, we really don't have a baseline to work from. Reflecting gives you an opportunity to see what's working and to hone in on those things and to see what's not working and really try to improve those things. But if you don't reflect, you don't take time to think, you don't document, you don't have that baseline, you're not able to do those things properly. Some of my biggest wins so far this year is being able to travel, remaining employed in this crazy economy. I'm so grateful for that. I owed on my taxes, but they're getting paid and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Creativity has been such an outlet for me. It makes me so happy. It's supporting my mental health. It's helping with my anxiety. So I really love creativity and I've been honing in on that. Rest has been a priority for me. So if I have things to get done and I am feeling like I need to rest, I'm going to choose rest first. Reading has been, on and off for me. As you all know, I've had a reading slump a couple times this year, but I really enjoy reading. When I really do get into it, I truly enjoy it. It takes me into a different world. It takes my mind off of the things that are going on. It's like a mental travel. And then summertime is so fun. I feel like when you live in a place that has all the seasons, you really enjoy it and you really want to make the most of it. And so I'm really enjoying summer. Okay, now that I've completed my review as well as what I'm looking forward to, we can get into my goals. We're going to review those a bit and then discuss our new goals for the next 3 to 6 months. All right, so let's do a quick recap of my annual goals. My health and fitness, I wanted to lose 30 pounds, improve my medical labs. This is still a goal. Business and career, monetize creativity. I just want to focus on YouTube and my communities. For the podcast and the blog, I'm going to move that out to the someday maybe list. For finance, new apartment, yes. New job, I'm going to move out to 2027. Reduce debt, increase savings. That is still a goal for the next 3 to 6 months. Personal development, read 45 books, yes. Study to be fluent in Spanish, yes. Study to be fluent in ASL. I'm going to move ASL to 2027 as well. As far as relationships and romance, monthly date night, that is still a goal. Call my mom weekly, friend evaluation, as well as monthly friend dates. I'm going to move these friend dates to quarterly. Do this friend evaluation, so that will happen, and I still will call my mom weekly. Fun and recreation, 6 domestic trips. Yes, that is still on. Monthly staycations. Yes, that's still on. And then my monthly solo date / friend date. Again, friend date, I think I'm going to move that to quarterly. And spiritual, weekly memory verse. I have not been doing that. I'm going to move that out and kind of try to revamp that for 2027. But my monthly Bible study is still on as well. So those are my annual goals. So Q2, move to a new apartment. Reduce transportation expense, start a certification program, read 10 books, monetize creativity. So the only one that I haven't really started on was the start a certification program, but everything else is still good to go. But I think we're going to keep this one as well. Let's get into our Q3 goals. So this is quarter 3, thinking about our annual goals, our Q1 and Q2 goals. I want my goals to be for this quarter. I still want health to be a top goal, but I want to change it up a bit, and I want to improve my health. overall. So that would be goal number 1, is to generally improve my health. And I would do that by losing weight, resting, and reducing my cortisol levels, and meal prepping, and daily walks. And what else? That's it. So improve my health will be goal number 1. And as you can see, this was also my annual goal, and I've been keeping this goal throughout the quarters. Now it's really time to show improve. So goal number 2, to be monetize creativity. And this is going to just be focusing on YouTube and my communities. I have a book club. I do have some ladies groups that I lead. So just trying to monetize creativity. It will not only support the group and the things that we do, but it will also allow things to be a lower cost for our group events. So that will be number 2. Number 3 will be consistent personal development. I kind of went into a reading slump. I kind of mentioned that to you guys previously. I had a bit of a reading slump, so I want to get back into it. I'm really enjoying reading now. As I've calmed down and I've just been focused on resting, I haven't been doing nothing but reading. So I definitely want to read, I want to say 10 books minimum. And then I also want to focus on Spanish, and I want to do some knitting. I want to learn how to knit. I have this beginner case that I got. It's so cool. It breaks everything down like you're a first grader, and I love it. So I'm excited to get started with that. And then I also want to make sure I'm consistent with my poetry as well as journaling. I need to express myself. I need to get my thoughts and my feelings onto paper, whether that's in a creative form like poetry, or it's in an expressive form or a narrative form like journaling. And with the 10 books, I definitely want to document, because when people ask me what I read, I'm like, I know I read this amount of books, but I can't tell them exactly what I read. So I want to document what I read in like a reading journal or something. So consistent personal development is another goal. Goal number 4 is going to be fun. Like, I want to have a lot of fun, and that includes solo dates and staycations and trips. Yeah, and I also want to enjoy summer. I want to go to the museums, libraries, coffee shops, all those things. So yeah, that's my type of fun. So have a lot of fun, especially summer, July, August, and September. Summer ends in September, but September is still somewhat of a summer month. It's still really hot in a lot of places through October, November. So I really want to take advantage of summer, because when winter comes, you're longing for summer. But I want to say to myself that, I enjoyed myself. I was very intentional. So we're going to do that. And then goal number 5, I'm going to say, this is going to be a spiritual goal. I'm going to say consistency with supporting my relationship with God, which is so important to me. And I have been very much in tune with this. Being sick and being in a hospital, you realize, a lot of things about life really don't matter. So really want to focus on what does matter, and that's my consistency with my relationship with God. And so that includes my prayer corner, my monthly Bible studies, and my verses, my memorization of verses. So I think that's it. Let's take another glance at my previous. Yeah, so these are taken care of. Certification program. So yeah, I do have some tasks that I do want to complete this quarter, and I'm going to put them over on this mind map page. Necessarily goals, but just some tasks. Okay, and so definitely want to finalize my move. Most things are done with that, just need to figure things out. Finalize transportation, certificate, license, program, and that's going to be CPA, real estate, one of those. And so that's it for that. And let's look at my initial. Okay. So here I am putting all of the small tasks and small goals that I have for the remaining section of the year. And hopefully I can get to them if I have time, but I want to keep them on my radar. Okay, and I'm also going to take a look at the brain dump list that I created just to see what I want to add for Q3. Some of the tasks here are small goals here are just reminders for me to set a goal. I need to set a debt payoff goal. How much do I want to pay off by the end of the year? Also need to set a savings goal. How much do I plan to or want to save by the end of the year? How much do I want to save in emergency funds? How much do I want to invest by the end of the year? How much I need to do investment research. That's also a task. And I need to revamp my sinking funds. I don't talk too much about my finances on this channel, but that's still a very much a big part of my daily life is my financial health. I also mentioned my 2027 planning. That's a big part of the last 6 months of the year. I start thinking about what I want 2027 to look like. How much will 2027 cost? What trips I want to go on? What do I want to do with my groups? Are there any big events that I want to do? Birthdays, holidays, all of those things. I also mentioned that I pushed some goals for 2027. How does that change my year? So I started to think about those things, and I put that on this task list so that I can remember to plan out days to really think about what I want 2027 to look like. This is also the time of year where I start buying Christmas gifts. I am not a last minute person at all. I like to plan ahead and I like to spend the least amount of money. Okay, so I have wrote out all of my goals as well as the tasks and some small goals that I want to complete to fill in any areas that might be open for Q3. These are things I also want to get done. These are the tasks that are from my brain dump list. Once I categorize it out, that I would like to get done in Q3. Again, no pressure. These are just things I want to keep on the forefront of my mind. So now that our goals are complete, we are going to get into the routines and habits that are going to support all of this. Now it's really nice for us to reflect and do our goals and go ahead and do our brain dump and do all those things. That's all nice and dandy, but where the real work comes in, where the real results will show through is our daily habits and routines. This is probably my favorite part. I love getting to this part because this is where I really am able to flesh out really achieving and executing the plans, goals, tasks that I have for myself in a month, week, or quarter. If you've been around for a while, you know I've kind of slacked up on my AM and PM routine. There are certain tasks that need to get done in my AM and PM that I'm bringing back and making sure that I focus on for the next quarter and 6 months of the year. Some items that I'm really bringing back into my AM routine are meditating, journaling, reading, my Spanish lesson, which takes like 3 to 5 minutes, stretching, and planning. I need to do an AM planning, and if I do what I need to do, the AM planning won't take long at all. For the next quarter, the next 6 months, I want my PM routine to start as soon as I get off work. That's when my PM routine starts, and that's going to start with my daily walk. And from there, we'll go into my dinner, tidying up the house, planning, reading, prepping for the next day. How am I wearing my hair? What am I wearing? Packing my bag, time with God, and then of course my hygiene. And of course, to bring it all together, I have my planning routine, Sunday reset, and the ideal week that would work best for me. All right, so I have my routines all set, my planning routine, my Sunday reset, as well as my ideal week. I think we're all good so far with our mid-year reset. I feel really confident and comfortable with what we've done so far. The next video for planning out July, the month of July. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have planned out your mid-year reset and got that all squared away. I will see you all next time. Bye.